Yeah. Hotter than the friction, the Birdman rubbing hands, wind dry, I'm too fly, snap with force of rubber bands. Used to roll my bills with the drop on my promo. Get heard and spread the word so everybody know that. Key beat to rap, what key beat to lock is. Walking through the door is my time like the clock gives. Been through the hailstorm, fire and the rain too. Disappointed by a lot of ops that never came through. Folk riding coattails, dragging shit would drain you. Wanna get me out my low and show you what my lane to do. My drive's like Danica, I burn it on the track and proceed to kill him soft with the soul of Roberta Flack. Always knew I do it big even with my short stature. Cause when it comes to bars, they huge as a linebacker. All this talk about who the best is non-factor. Cause I'ma have minds like digging for coal in Africa. Shine like diamonds, no conflict, it's harmony. Rapping with my queens like 11-4-33. Key beat to rap, what key beat to lock is. Word to the reverb, it's slick, I'm about to rock this. Walking through the door is my time like the clock gives. Feel no pressure, I'm just here to give you dopeness. I'm my own competition, used to fret that I would have some. I'm focused on making my tracks better than the last one. It's me on production, consider myself a novice, but won't stop taking a crack at it like it's crawfish. Can't say it sucked though, my chop game Michelin. 5-star season, start tape, bitch, I'm sizzling. Hear me loud and clear, got no plans on fizzling. I spit the monsoon, never satisfied with drizzling. Key beat to rap, what key beat to lock is. Word to the reverb, it's slick, I'm about to rock this. Walking through the door, it's my time like the clock gives. Feel no pressure, I'm just here to give you dope. Key beat to rap, what key beat to lock is. Word to the reverb, it's slick, I'm about to rock this. Walking through the door, it's my time like the clock gives. Feeling no pressure, I'm just here to give you dope.
Yo, what's up, man? It's Mr. Staxx in the building. I would call her a guest, but she's been here so many times. She more like family now at this point. So we got Minister Tanika B. Love in the building. Yeah, go ahead, talk, Tanika.
Hi, I'm Tanika B. Love, the author of the cookbook Cooking with Love, Lost the Battle, Won the War, available at all.coms. I am the co-host of a podcast, the Brunch Hour Podcast, 1/3 me, Goody and Styles. I also am a life coach. I coach in modules of achievement, self-love, life management, and relationships. And I am newly Minister Love. I can legally perform weddings in New York City.
Okay, you got a large resume there. So, what made you want to be a minister?
Well, you know, I am love, and I believe in the sanctity of marriage, even though, you know, I've been through a tumultuous marriage. I still believe in the sanctity of marriage and in love. And I believe people should celebrate that, you know, before God. And if they want to do it legally, then I'm here to assist that. And what better way to celebrate love than to marry somebody than Tanika B. Love?
So now I have a question for you when it comes to that. Would you do like relationship counseling or marriage counseling and engagement counseling before marrying someone?
It's required.
Oh, what's required?
It's required to do counseling, meet with the couple, and get some background of why they want to get married, and get some knowledge of their relationship before they even commit to the marriage.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want to get married, you ain't required to get married. I'll marry you. You don't gotta there's no required. I don't care about why y'all want to get married. I don't care about being in your business or whatever. Especially if you get married for the money, man. Just make sure I get half. I'm want to help the immigrants stay.
Oh, Staxx. You were just saying that you were interested in being able to perform marriages as well.
Hold on. Before we get into that, I want to say this real quick. Yo, shout out to Tanifia. She's going to Philly. We're going to Philly on April 2nd. to do a performance out there. Shout out to Star Quasia. She's gonna be on that card. Foreign Fab, my boy, he just won a competition. He going to Miami. Soon he's going to. He just won a competition last night, and they're gonna fly him out to Miami to perform to see if he can get a first place ticket, man. Shout out to Legacy Ty. That's I'm trying to work with him, but you know these dudes be on Obama time. You feel me? They get Hollywood, and you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get him to come to Death Row. He chilling with Puffy and them, champagne in the video, dancing, Harlem shaking and pranking and all that.
Nah, he is with Puffy though. Let's not get that twisted.
You feel me? But you know how all this big head bouncing and all that. So it's things like that. But shout out to Legacy Ty. Shout out to my man Pierre McFlair. The album is dropping real soon for my son Pierre McFlair. Super dope artist. Yo, my man Stay Fly Shy. I gotta shout that's my brother, right? We became brothers through partying and mutual respect. And he's a party promoter. If you go on Instagram, enter stay_fly_shy. You'll be able to follow him. Super dope dude. Fashionable. He got some. I ain't never looked in his eyes, but I've heard he got some pretty eyes, or whatever the case might be. And yeah, like we about to party together. We about to network together. We gonna get y'all something to dance and groove to or whatever. Have you on the hookah. Yeah, I just wanted to take that time to shout out my people.
Okay, I want to go back to Legacy Ty. He actually has a video premiering tomorrow, for a new song, Tell Him, and it'll be on YouTube with foreign freestyles.
Okay. So, what was your question that you was about to ask me?
I asked you. Oh, I was saying that you were expressing your interest and wanting to be an officiant as well. So,
Yeah.
What makes you want to?
I want to marry people because I need this money. Like, why not? Like, everybody's getting married, and I be seeing the Africans and all that. They paying them bands. Pay me. I'm not gonna dig in your business. I just want the money. Like, you feel me? Nah, but seriously, I believe in God, right? So it's not about me officiating a wedding. It's about me walking in my purpose and my calling. Well, one of my purposes. I'm not gonna say that's the only one. At the same time, the Bible says when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing before the face of God. So, I speak about love. We speak about love here on Do the Knowledge Radio. We speak about breaking the cycle, and what better way to help one. Jazzy, what up? Oh, shout out to Jasmine, Jazzy J, something for the culture, man. AKA I'm weak. She is she's getting married on the 26th of this month. She invited me to the wedding. That's my sis and all that. So I'm gonna go. Usually I don't go to people's weddings because I get mistaken for the groom. I look good. You feel me?
Oh gosh.
So it's like I clean up nice. I get different, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. So
okay. Congratulations.
Yeah, shout out to the queen over there, man. Queen the Bee. She's a princess right now. She got to get married first. You know what I'm saying? I hope they sing "She's Your Queen," the Coming to America's ring when she come out. But that's the reason. That's the reason. Like, I want to do something purposeful, and I want to, like I always say this, right? It's only 3 things left for me to do while I'm still on Earth, right? Please God, get married and be a great husband and be an even better father. Now, I've been a father for so many years, and I father kids that's not mine, and my God kids love me like that, and because I'm raised in the era of it takes a village to raise a kid, I embrace every single kid the same way, right? I don't shun a kid in the way, well, you ain't my nephew. If I know your parent, you my nephew. If I know your You know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't know your parent, it don't make you less of my nephew or kid. Like, you gonna get something from me. So, you know, I just take advantage of opportunity.
That's good. That's good. Now you said that you father a lot of kids.
I got older women and older men that's my kids too, just so y'all know. But go ahead, what you was about to say?
And you said that, you know, it's like having your own child. Do you find it difficult, or in comparison to your own child, giving them the time, the necessary time and dedication that they need to really see them grow and blossom?
So, because I don't have any biological kids, right? Responsibility is responsibility for me, right? For anybody, and anytime that you date someone, anything that's a part of them becomes a part of you, or is supposed to become a part of you. So automatically that becomes a situation for me where if I'm dating a woman, I'm not a stepfather. I never claim to be a stepfather, but you know, I'm there. I'm gonna be here. You feel me? I'm gonna be active in your kid's life. And I don't believe one of the most hurtful things I heard a woman say one day was she had got pregnant and she got an abortion, and she was like, I can have another one. And I'm like, you can't replace a kid. You can't replace a person. How could you really think in your right mind that because you got an abortion and you can have another kid, that you actually replacing the kid that God blessed you with at that time, right? So I don't think that whether I have a biological kid or I interact with any other kid for that time, purpose, or reason, that they become less of my kid. Like all kids is gonna be my kids as long as I'm able to be active in their lives. I got better baby mothers and I ain't got no kids with them.
Now, I want to ask you a question a little on the spiritual side, because you just said something about you can't replace a child. Now, let's say in an instance, like for me, my experience of losing a baby, you know, I had a miscarriage at 6 months. It was a boy. And I never attempted to have another baby because I was so afraid of the feelings that I felt at that time with that loss. But I know there's a lot of women that do experience loss and then sometimes immediately become pregnant right away. Do you feel that that is God's way of giving someone back that child?
No, I believe that. So, I believe this, right? It's a scripture that says, God can't bless you in an unforgiven state, right? And God won't hear your prayers in an unforgiven state, right? Because God is a forgiver, and in his forgiving way, in his empathy, in his compassion, in his grace, and in his mercy, it's a particular place where you have to be willing to illustrate those same actions, right? Your sin is never against yourself, it's always against God. So if you go to God asking for forgiveness, how could you not forgive your brother, your sister, your fellow man, your fellow woman, right? And God will ignore you in those particular ways. Your emptiness, the feeling that you may have, you can't, like I said, you can't replace a person. So generally, if you actually do get pregnant again or don't get pregnant again, you know, you really gotta evaluate what it is that God may be trying to get you through or get you to, right? And some people don't trust the process. Some people don't have faith enough to trust the process. So, you know, for you, like your fear might have affected your faith at that particular time, right? Yeah, you know, and these things are not attached to God. Fear is attached to the devil, right? fear, lack of faith is attached to the devil. All of those particular things spiritually are not attached to God, because when your relationship is strong, your faith is even stronger. You can't have a relationship with something or someone that you don't have faith in.
You just touched on something, because during, I mean, you know, I'm taking what you're saying and I'm putting it into my situation. And during that time that I did get pregnant with the person that I was with, it was a lot to get pregnant. I mean, the circumstances that I had was when I had my daughter at 17. That's when I found out her father was cheating on me. And I had contracted a sexually transmitted disease. And the doctor told me that there is a possibility that I would never be able to have children again because of that. It so happened that because the scar tissue healed around my tubes, they were blocked. And I had to have surgery to have them unblocked to get pregnant. So I had to go through that process. But the person that I was with at the time, because of all of those things, in the beginning, I used to accuse him or blame him that it was him that was the problem, when all along it was me. So that put a strain on our relationship. And then working so hard to get pregnant, and our relationship was already strained. And then the pregnancy didn't last. And then right after that is when our relationship ended. Because one, our relationship was strained, and two, I knew that he wanted children, and I made the decision that I didn't want any more children, because I didn't want to go through what I went through. I didn't want to try, because the doctor basically said that in order for me to get pregnant again, because my tubes blocked again, I had to go through in vitro fertilization. Now, do you think that that may have been a sign that I shouldn't be having any more children?
So I want to say this to you, right? I remember April 10th this year is gonna make 12 years since I went into cardiac arrest, right? And I remember the doctor telling me, if you don't get heart surgery, you won't live to see 5 years, right? And I never ever believed him, right? Because my faith wouldn't allow me to, right? So, you know, we talking 12 years ago, we talking 7 years past the time that they gave me to still live. I still don't have heart surgery, right? And the Bible says, no man knows the day, time, nor hour, right? So how could a doctor tell me that I'm going to die in 5 years if he don't know, if he's not God, right? So now for you, the doctor's telling you these different things, and the thing that, like I said, your faith won't allow you to see it, because generally that became a situation for you that was real. So you was dealing with the here and now, right? A lot of people don't understand this, right? Your depression, anxiety, lack of faith, and all these other things is attached to the devil, right? It's a scripture that says, for the devil came to lie, steal, kill, and destroy, right? So how does he do it? He does it based on two different things. Based on what we say out our mouths, right? Oh, the devil ain't real. He gonna show you that he real, because he gonna put you in a situation to show you how real he can get, right? And two, he does it based on our temptations, the things that we want, right? So generally, a lot of people don't understand that the things that we want are the things that the devil will use to keep a certain level of control over us. So he's able to kill our joy. How? By giving us the things that we want, but taking them away, right? Only God gives life, though. Oh, and only God can take life. So the reality is that, and you have to get to that place where it's more about God, about the reverence that you give God, than the way that you allow yourself to be used by the devil.
Interesting. Now I do have a continuation for that story based on what you said. You know, the doctors, when I said basically the doctors told me I couldn't get pregnant unless I was going through in vitro fertilization. Now I had already decided that I didn't want to go through the in vitro fertilization. I already came to the realization that I didn't want any more children. Now, moving forward into my now ex-husband and marriage. When we first got together, the conversation, because I always believed in having conversations about the things that you want and what you're looking for out of a relationship, always. So we had conversations about the things that we wanted and didn't want. And one of the things that we both agreed on was not having any more children. He for his own reasons and mine for the reasons that I just stated. And basically, I was under the impression that I couldn't have any more children. And so now I'm with this person. He's adamant. He don't want any more children. I felt I didn't want any more children because I was afraid. And I wind up pregnant. And so now I'm in this pregnancy and I'm miserable. I'm unhappy because I'm pregnant, because I didn't want it. I was afraid to go through the process and see it to the end. And then because I was with a person that was adamant about not having any more children. So I made a choice to have an abortion. And from the time that I did it, I totally regretted it. And I felt like I betrayed God, but I went ahead with it initially because it was my own personal fear that kept me from going through it. And plus the person I was with was adamant about not having any more children. And so it took me a long time to forgive myself for that. And I made it my business to make sure that if I didn't want any more children, I was going to do what was necessary to make sure that that didn't happen. Because now, the doctors told me one thing, and here I am pregnant. It was a gift from God that I discarded.
Right.
And so I had to make sure that that wouldn't happen again. So I made sure that I protected myself so that wouldn't happen again. And he did whatever he needed to do to protect himself so it wouldn't happen again.
What he did? He got a vasectomy or some shit? What he got?
Yeah. Now I'm still capable of having children.
He might be a transsexual now. Go ahead though, my fault.
I'm still capable of having children if I chose to, but of course I'm taking the necessary precautions so that that would not happen. But just the decisions you make in fear and because of someone else. Both of us is out. Okay, we're back.
Yeah, I was like, hold on, wait.
Yeah, the decisions that you choose to make based on fear and not on faith, and because of someone else, can leave you with long-lasting suffering if you don't reconcile with that.
Right. So here's what's crazy, right? Because oftentimes we forget that the things that we do affect someone else, right? And I think about, I have to live with this a lot, right? Like me doing the bed, right? My reality is that I chose the streets, I chose the street code, I chose all of these different things over my son, right? By going to jail, doing time for a crime I didn't commit, listen to a judge tell me either tell or go to jail, right? And having to hear different people say, like my son's mom didn't know she was gonna die, but she felt like I was the best person for his life. So she was willing to sign her rights over to me. Right. And then she dies two months later. Right. Oh, and she kept saying that, yo, if he was home, I would sign my rights over to him. I know that he's going to love my child correctly. I know he's the best thing for my kid. And to we always say that we want our kids to have the best. We want our kids to have the things that we never had and all these different things. And then that becomes something that's financial, right? So you asked the question about time, right? I remember the day that I met my son. He was crying in the stroller. I picked him up. He smiled. I saw his dimple, right? So the dimple. I'm like, oh, I said, it's my baby right here. Just like that, right? I swear. In that very moment, right? And in the midst of that, I was hustling, right? I never went in the house on a day that I'm hustling. I never went in the house so early in my life. I went home with his mom at 8:30 at night. It was June 19th, 2005. So I go home with his mom at 8 at night, and I spent the night, right? Get up there, we chill, fall asleep, wake up. And I was just happy to wake up to him. And I continued that. I wasn't even going home anymore to my own house. I'm a permanent visitor at her house, right?
Permanent visitor. That's a good one, Staxx. That's a
permanent visitor, right? I'm not going home to change clothes. I got plenty of clothes in the house. I would wake up, go to the store, buy an outfit, come back to the house, take a shower, go outside, sell drugs, come back in the house, chill with little man. Like this became my little routine. And not realizing that even wanting him to have the finer things and all the things that I never had, the two things that I ever had, I never had a father that gave me time. So all I really had to do was spend time with him. Right? It's so many different things that I remember just in the time that I spent with this young boy, right? I remember one day I took him to Chuck E. Cheese. I had $100 bill. I give the cab driver $100. So he was a dancer at the time. He's 7 years old. He danced or whatever. Michael Jackson was his favorite dancer. All kind of stuff. So he do all kind of dances. His name is Tavion. His dance name was Tay Butter. Right? In this particular moment, the cab cost $8. I gave the cab driver $100, $100 bill. He gives me about $60 in singles. My son snatched the money and acted like it was a 10,000. He snatched the money and he said, my dad name is Staxx. I'm Tay Staxx. I'm balling. Right? And he's running around 125th with this chain. What kind of change? 50 cent? I ain't got that kind of money. That's too rich for my blood. So he's running around 125th with this little $92, and he's screaming, I'm Tay Staxx, I'm Tay Staxx, I'm balling, I got money. Right?
At 7.
At 7. Okay. Right? Because he understood my name is Staxx. He understood what Staxx was a representation of, right? and the more time that we spent together, it got to the point where if he asked me for $5 and I would say I don't have $5, I would really be saying I don't have any change, but I would say I don't have $5, and he'd be like, "Your name is Staxx. You always got money." So the more time that I invested in him, the more that it was different things that he wanted to do that I was already doing. Right? He naturally danced and he naturally played baseball. That was his sport. I play basketball. He started playing basketball. I think he plays basketball now. So he's like 6'3". He's playing basketball now, I will believe. Right? But just all of the Gucci, all of the True Religions, all of the things that I've ever bought him didn't amount to the time. Not even the time that I missed being in prison, right? Because I can't get it back. And he's where he's at. And I have to really thinking about, you know, if I would have fake left and went right, if I'd have did this, all these different things, you know, are the reason that I have to deal with this empty feeling of him not being in my life consistently, not knowing if he's safe, not knowing, you know, all of these different things, because I don't feel like less of a parent because he's not biologically mine.
Right.
I correct people when they say, if a person be like, your stepson? No, my son. What do you mean stepson? Like,
I understand. I have I have a son too. He's my stepson, but he's my son. Raised him since he was 5. My granddaughter is his daughter. That's my ex-husband's son, but that's still my son.
yeah, like, I don't know. We evaluate things differently, and the one thing that I'm learning is that we've created this thing. It's a generational curse, right? Generational cycle of the people that we once admired, that we say that we don't like, are the people that we are worse than. So, you know, for me, right, my dad didn't raise me, or he denied me, all of these different things. Even with me claiming a little boy that's not biologically mine, right? Me having to go away to do prison time and choosing the street code doesn't make me any different than my dad, right? Because I chose something different than my son, just like my dad chose something different than me.
Right.
So, you know, it's scary because, you know, I always say that, you know, these same OGs that we looked up to, and they set the rules, but they broke the rules too, right? Hey, ain't no snitching. That's the code. The first snitch wasn't somebody 5 years old. It came from somebody older. It came from somebody that made the rule, right? One of the craziest things, and I'm gonna give you your Harlem card for this moment. Don't take it. You feel me? But but people look at the story of Frank Lucas, right? And they miss this one thing. His mom, brothers, and family came from North Carolina. Where was he from? He claimed Harlem, but he was from North Carolina. So now the attachment, when we get labeled, the stigma that's attached to a Harlem person is that we snitches because of watching New Jack City and watching the American Gangster and all of these different things, right? But like they try not to talk about Little C's too much, or they don't want to talk about they try not to talk about 6ix9ine too much, or none of these other dudes from Brooklyn that told, or the dudes from Queens that told. But they forget that Frank Lucas really, really wasn't from Harlem. So we really have a stigma that's attached to us, similar to if you gay, you have AIDS. There's no truth to it. You feel me? So, like I said, the thing that we hate the most is the thing that we illustrate the most.
That is true.
I remember when I was blood, right? I was big homie. I'm blood. Blood stands for brotherly love over oppression, destruction. The biggest oppressors in prison are bloods. Like, they oppress each other. Bloods oppress bloods. They oppress everybody else. Like, but this is something that you're supposed to stand for and be a representation of. Like, it's scary, it's weird.
It definitely is. I want to definitely commend you though. This is why I like having conversations with you. 'Cause I always learn something new and I always get inspired by you. Just you being, you know, so young, but old enough and wise enough to recognize and acknowledge your mistakes in regards to you and your son and the relationship and the reason why, and reconciling with the reason why you feel that emptiness, and understanding that it's because of your actions and being accountable for it and wanting to change the cycle and break the cycle so that others wouldn't endure what you have put your son through and what you're going through now yourself.
Right.
Now, do you feel like that emptiness carries over into your other relationships?
in certain ways. But then I think what carries over into my other relationships is that because I have knowledge of self and I'm aware and conscious and I'm trying to be better, I put myself in a place where I always feel the need to take the opportunity to teach. But when you're dealing with people that's not taking the opportunity to learn, it comes off wrong, right? And there's no space and all these different things that people make up. So, automatically, it's like I was telling someone yesterday, maybe even this morning, I'm not sure. I hold a lot of conversations. But I was telling them, I said, one of the hardest things about being a man, right? Being a human is because we have unforgiving ways. What'll happen is, so I'll come on, do the knowledge radio, and I'll have Tanika on the show, and we'll speak. And you're like, yo, I'm inspired by that, right? You live your truth, you all these things, right? And I'm no longer looked at to you in a certain light, right? Now, the problem oftentimes is us as humans is when I go into society, I'm not looked at as a person that's transforming and reforming, reinventing myself. I'm looked at as a convicted felon. That's it, right? I'll go get a job. Have you been convicted of a felony? Right? So I'm not looked at as a person that been home for 4 years, that's done enormous things and worked in the best places in the world within the 4 years. I'm looked at as a felon. That's it, right? Now I'm in a relationship, right? I do something wrong in a relationship. I get treated the same way in a relationship that I do when I walk outside the house, right? Or she gets treated the same way that the society is looking at her, right? Just a black they're not saying that you're, because a lot of females do this, and it make me laugh. Bitch, I'm the bitch. I'm that bitch. When a white person look at you, they don't see bitch. They see nigga.
Right. Right.
That's it, right? They're nigga, not nigga, bitch, not none of these things, right? So they see you as bitch. I mean, as nigga, right? And you go into society, into these particular realms of life, and you have to come back in the house to a man that's unforgiving, right? That has his own insecurities, that has all these different things, and he's whipping you with it, so to speak, right? Women will whip a man with it, right? Oh, you cheated? You had the opportunity to leave. You chose to stay. You said you forgave me. Did you forgive me so that you could keep me in prison and bondage in this relationship the way the society does a convicted felon?
Right.
Or did you forgive me, really forgive me, so that we can move forward and see what it was that made me cheat, what it was that you were doing wrong? You know what I'm saying? And
right.
Like, men mess up, but sometimes they might not be getting the attention they feel they need, right? Because we deal with people that's created in pride and have, this nature, right? Do walk out macho man, you ain't giving him that kind of attention, he gonna get it from somewhere else. Same way with a woman. So, generally, I think that's something that I've dealt with, not necessarily the emptiness of, my son or whatever, because even a woman that I date would never be able to fill the emptiness of my son not being in my life.
I didn't mean the question in the manner of, replacing the emptiness of your son, but the feeling of emptiness and carrying the emotion and reacting upon emotion in your other relationships. Because when you're feeling empty, those are your emotions.
Yo, so here's what's weird, right? So my sister, she's supposed to come on any minute. I don't know when, but she's charging. Hit the link. So she's charging her phone to come on, right? And I remember about 2 years ago, my younger sister and I had got into an exchange of words, and my sister says, my younger sister said something crazy, and my older sister was like, "Yo," she's like, "I need you to be more emotional with the family," and I'm like, I don't know, I don't know how that looks, right? Because I don't want to curse you guys out. That means I'm not emotional. You know what I'm saying? So in my relationships that I've had, I've received women tell me that I'm not emotional. I'm not. The link is on Instagram. I sent it to your DM. I've heard females tell me that I lack emotion because I always choose myself. I will walk away fast. Oh, what? I'm going. Or because we disagree, it's automatically an argument, right? I'm entitled to disagree. I don't have to agree with your bullshit. You don't have to agree with mine. Just, yes. Hello. But yeah, like but a lot of people do that. They think that just because you disagree with them that y'all arguing. We two people that just disagree.
Right.
It happens.
Absolutely.
That's it. I was at a baby shower Saturday, right? Young man, super dope, going places, right? And you know, he he was expressing to me how he's done so many things to please his mom, and it doesn't seem like enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now that becomes a situation where I'm like, oftentimes as parents, we miss the fact that just because our kids aren't who we want them to be, as far as being like, if you have a daughter, she might not be the woman that you want her to be. She's still a woman, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My son might not be the man that I want him to be, but he's still a man, right? Our job as parents, we know parents being a parent doesn't come with a manual, and life experience is the best teacher. So our job as parents is to be the car, right? Our kids is the car. We got to be the headlights. You got them, and give them the space to make the mistake so that you can tell them this. That's what I was telling you about, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I told you don't touch the stove, right? That's why I told you don't play in traffic, right? You almost got hit. Now you know. Wait for that red light. Make sure the stove is off. All of these different things, but because we get fixated on having this particular standpoint, you're gonna do it my way, right? Why your way may work, and I might have my own way. As I grow, I might create a way, and we miss that often.
Definitely. I remember having that conversation with my daughter. You know, there was a lot of times where we clashed, and me doing my first live, I had her on, and we were just having a conversation of our relationship then versus now. And one of the things that she said to me, which I had realized later on, but at that time I didn't, one of the things she said was that I couldn't see how great of a child she was because she wasn't who I wanted her to be. And that was the truth. A lot of my anger came from her not being what I wanted her to be in her actions, but I also tried to cultivate her so she can decide what she wanted to be. She wanted to be in tap, she wanted to do basketball, whatever she wanted to do, I encouraged and helped cultivate. But at the same time, some of her actions I didn't agree with, and I was a lot of angry with that because I felt like, she should be a certain way. I wasn't accepting her for who she was, and that made me angry. It made me respond negatively to her, and it caused our relationship to break down.
Do you feel like? Well, let me ask you two different questions. Your mom was in your life?
No, my mother, I didn't grow up with a mother and father. I grew up with my grandmother, then my aunt who raised me as a mother, but not my biological mother and father. Of course, my father was in my life, but not in my life because, he was on drugs. But no, I don't know what it's like to have a mom and a dad. I didn't call my mother mom. I didn't call my father dad, even after, we started to have a relationship. When I had my daughter, he was a grandfather. My mother had died at 35. She died young. Like 3 months after we started to build a relationship, she died. So we didn't get that opportunity. That's why it took it so hard. But my father, I called him Black. I never called him daddy. I didn't see him as my dad. So
Okay, Michelle Obama, they call it.
I know I forgot to put my phone at do not disturb.
Yeah, I see that already. The minister's on duty. They like this. Listen, I need some love advice. He's cheating again.
I do get that a lot, like a lot of different questions and conversations in regards to that. So yeah, I've been doing it because I coach in relationships. So, but no, so you're asking if I had a mother, why?
Yeah, was your mom in your life? Because
No.
so generally the reason I ask that is because if you're let's say your mom was a certain level of abusive to you, right? Most people equate abuse with something that's physical and not mental, emotional, you know what I'm saying? All these different other things, right? Verbal. So now that becomes a situation where we choose to continue on in that with our own kids and not being better. Like it's crazy. My grandmother, right? My grandmother could curse you out in 5 languages and she only spoke English. Right? My, my mom, so like my mom, right? My mom was always there, right? My mom was always there. She was always, if I got in trouble, my mom came to school. If I was in the prison, my mom came to the prison. If I, went to the hospital, my mom took me to the hospital. But my grandmother was the one that raised me. My mom is somebody that I've always been able to count on, though, right? Unlike I'm named after one man, but my real dad is someone else. So unlike those particular people, I knew that I could count on my mom, right? So this is the reason why I'm able to move forward, let go, not care about so many different things, because at the end of the day, I would rather have somebody I could count on, whether they active in the ways that I need them to be there or not, or feel like I need them to be there or not, than to have somebody that has the title but they not there, right? It's just you ghost from power right now. You feel me? Like so. But like I said, my grandmother, she could curse you out in 5 different languages, right? And generally that's a certain level of, but she had limited education considering her age and the time that she was born, you know what I'm saying? But in most cases, in my family or whatever, the thing that became so relevant is that all of my mom kids know how to curse. We know how to curse each other out. We know how to, right? And it's love. Like if you can't mess with one of us and we don't pull up, but behind closed doors, you know what I'm saying? Hey, bitch ass nigga, fuck you, bitch. Right? we go we going toe to toe with these curses because this is something that we learned from young, from something that was invested, deposited into us.
So that was you finished your statement?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had more. It seemed like you was going in. I was interested. But I want to go back because I like doing this.
That's the reason I asked you what I asked you about, was your mom in your life, because you wanted your daughter to be a certain way, and it could have been because your mom had the expectation of you, right? Or someone else had the expectation of you, so you continue to deposit that into your daughter because we can agree that everything in life is a learned behavior.
I think for me, more so, I was living through a lot of fear. So more so, I chose to be different because I didn't want to experience the things that I seen my brother and sister experience. I feel like I was saved, but and because I felt the way I felt and not being loved by my parents enough to keep me or be able to keep me, not understanding their disease, I wanted to break the cycle. That was my goal. Even having her young, I understood that very young in my age. And I wanted to break the cycle and try to push her in a direction where she wouldn't experience none of that. One, by trying to live it. Two, by directing her. And as I saw her patterns moving towards a different direction, I was forcing her to not be who she was, because I felt like if she was who she was, she would fall into the pattern of unbreaking what I just broke. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was more of a protection, but it was an overprotection, because at the same time, I tried to protect her and shelter her so much that some of the things that I feel like maybe she could have experienced to understand more, because now she's having a little struggles in areas in her life, that it would change that, and it didn't. So, trying to have control over other people's lives, which is amazing. Why are you laughing?
No, I'm listening to you.
What?
No, you don't laugh because I'm laughing. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm laughing because you're laughing. What?
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
So why are you laughing?
I got a text from my man. He like, yo, we hanging out? I'm like, maybe, I don't know. You feel me? So he like called me. I'm like, when my show's over. So he said, how long? I said, bro, I'll call you in 20 minutes or something like that. He like, all right, I'm going to the gym. So his arms bigger than mine, but I said, your little ass arms. So he like, the girls like it. I'm like, that don't mean that they big. Like, what is it? The girls like, what did you conquer by making that statement? Like, but
okay, so now I'm gonna fight you because you was having a whole conversation while I was having a conversation. Did you hear anything I said?
I definitely heard everything that you said. My name Staxx.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna I like going back because I found some area where I felt like we could address, and that's with you. And you said that it's easy for you to, if something is not going good, to get up and go, right? Now, I know we've had conversations before, and
Yeah,
so
put
my
my
question.
business out there. Just put my business out there. Oh.
No, we had conversations on live. Don't play with me. Conversations on live. Let me say that. So it's public that we had these conversations and not in private, because we definitely have some great conversations in private too. But the public conversation, and it was about you being able to do that so comfortably. Is it keeping your peace and protecting yourself, or is it you running and not staying and dealing with it head on?
When I leave, I don't run. I walk. So it's I'm protected.
You know exactly what I mean.
I'm protecting my. Listen, right? This the thing, right? There is no problem that there's not a solution to. Right? Now I understand people is human nature, right? We feel the need to express ourselves about so many different things, right? You could be in the store with somebody, right? And just because they feel the need to express themselves, somebody could be over there doing something. Oh, I don't know why you did that dumb shit, right? I don't know how that affected you. Did it stop your rent from being paid, right? So we express ourselves often about so many different things. Now you're in a relationship with someone and you express yourself, right? You express yourself. Yeah, I feel the way because of this, that, and the third. yo, baby, listen, I understand. Or, for female, oh, babe, whatever man explain. And then that becomes a situation where now that I've expressed myself, right, we have to come up with a solution to how to fix the problem. Now, if all the time all we doing is talking about the problem, that's going to become redundant, aggravating, right? And now I'm like, you know what? I got a trick for this. I came up with a solution. I'm Casper. I got to go.
And do you explore? Do you take the time to explore other solutions? Because of course there's more than one solution, depending on what's best for you. But do you take the time to explore them before just I got to go? That's the running part. Now, if you're sitting there exploring it, or if you exhausted all your resources, that's different. But if you haven't even entertained that possibility or thought or action, then you just leaving is really running.
Well, my name's Staxx, not Explorer, so I ain't got time to explore nothing, right? So I'm just saying, like, listen, this is what it is, right? Oftentimes, right? So I say this, right? You got this thing that people don't understand what it is, right? Insecurity, right? It's internal, right? Can you trigger my insecurity? Yeah, you can trigger it. Can you affect it? You can trigger it, but like that's all you can do is trigger it. You feel me? Oh man. So as people, what we do is we get triggered. Well, I'm not insecure about nothing. I think I'm perfect. But we get triggered by so many different things that deal with our insecurities, right? And then that becomes a situation where we lash out and do things based on what we're triggered with, right? And that becomes a situation where now we dealing with each other. Do I feel forced to listen to this bullshit every single day? Like, right? So I'll give you an example, right? Man dates a woman and she's insecure about whatever, right? Her butt is flat. Let's say her butt is flat. She's insecure about her butt being flat, and she wants a bigger butt, but she don't want to get no butt shots and all these different things, right? Now, to me, right, I might like a picture of a fake butt, but I don't want a woman that has a fake butt, right? It's just that I like the picture. I like the picture. That's all, right? So now, I like a picture of, with a bunch of fake butts, whatever the case might be. I like a woman that has a high level of confidence. What do I need a fake Barbie doll for, right? Be confident in who you are. I don't need you to be nobody else. This ain't the BET Awards. You're not getting a Grammy from me, right? Be you. If I wanted Halle, I would try to find Halle. I don't want an actress, right? So now I'm listening to this and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stop liking the fake butt pictures, right? Then when I make the decision to, now that's the solution to the problem. I don't want to hear this shit all day long, so I came up with a solution. I'm gonna stop, right? So now I see it. I like a picture of a girl with a real butt, right? And
go ahead with your story stuff.
Now that becomes a problem too, right? So now you know what I say? I say, you know what? Let's do one or two things. Either let's stop following each other, right? Or I'll just delete Instagram. Right? I'm not gonna see that many fake butts on Facebook, right?
You're such a jerk.
So But like I said, I'm not moved by a fake butt, right? Because generally, here it is. I've been to 40 states out of 51, right? Atlanta before the AIDS rate got so high, right? Real, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna call them stallions because stallions is horses, right? But I'm talking Amazon, big booty, all that, right? I've never been to a strip club. I don't really like strip clubs. They don't move me in any kind of way. But I'm from Broadway. I seen Dominican girls with the fattest of the fattest booties, right? Like, so I'm not moved by a fake butt. I compare fake butts to going to a Spanish person's house. They got the fake fruit on the table, right? What I can't. What I'm supposed to do with fake cake? Suffocate? Like I ain't. What I'm gonna do? Right? So what is the problem now? Right? Your ex left you for a fake booty, and you try to put it on stack. Man, look. You know what? I'm leaving. I gotta go. That's just how it works. I don't want to hear that shit all the time. I got things. I got goals. If my mind is not at peace, how I'm supposed to accomplish the things that I have to accomplish for myself? Your energy is too toxic for me.
Okay.
That's it.
So I can understand that.
Look, jealousy, right? Yo, I never met a man. I never met a man on this planet that had more of anything than me. I never met a man that was better than me at anything, right? And I'm not saying that it might be Jordan might be better than me in basketball, right? But we'll never know. So I'm better than Jordan right now. We ain't played each other.
So because you ain't meet him, then anybody. So you literally speaking. Okay, go ahead.
I don't need to meet Jordan. He need to meet me. I'm Staxx, right? But what I'm saying is, I don't walk around in my day-to-day life competing with people. There is no competition for me. I gotta be the best me possible. I gotta be a better me than I was yesterday. You know what I'm saying? All of these different things. So if I'm competing with myself as it is, and I got time to compete with Joe Blow, then Joe Blow got too much space in my mind, and he winning.
Right.
He lost already because I ain't thinking about him.
Absolutely. When you continuously think about a person and their actions, it does have power over you.
That's it. I ain't got time. So, it's about me. It's about my peace of mind, right? I would tell anybody on the planet, if it's not making you better, choose yourself. Choose yourself every single trip. Choose yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can't complain about something, and when it don't change, what you gonna do? Complain some more?
Right.
We're all gonna laugh at you. I'm always at peace with every decision that I make, right? So if I walk away, I'm gonna be at peace. If I stay, I want to be at peace. This is a double-sided coin. If I flip it, it's tails. If I flip it, it's tails. So either way, you gonna roll with the rush, or we don't have to deal with each other. It is what it is. What do I lose? I'm not gonna lose my sanity. Hairline pushback. I'm 35. I don't look 35. I look younger than a lot of these young boys out here. So you think I'm supposed to be in a relationship with somebody stressing me out, getting bags under my eyes? Like I get paid for this shit. NBA coaches get paid for that shit. You ain't, man, fuck all that.
That is absolutely the truth. That's very important to sit there and evaluate your situation, determine how it's affecting you. And if it's affecting you negatively, then you have to make the choice to choose you. Self-love.
Generally, look, since you asked the question about am I running or am I not, or is it about my peace? The only person that's gonna say I'm running is the person that's putting me through this shit. So
That's true. But see, sometimes, again, we get comfortable with the fact that we have the ability to walk away. And so zero tolerance is zero tolerance. And you walk away not even trying.
How
And
long?
How
long am I supposed to be in a situation where I feel like I'm fighting you to be with you? Sometimes
when you've exhausted all of your resources.
Sometimes
and it's taking it's affecting you mentally, physically.
If I dated you right now, right? If I dated you right now and I did a few things wrong, and then let's say in 6 months I did a lot of things wrong, and you complained about them, and all these things in 6 months and all that, right? And then one day you start to see he made a little bit of change, right? So you don't say nothing about the little bit of change, right? And then you start to see a little bit more change, right? And I start to change, right? And now you start to say, hey babe, I noticed your little change, little kiss, right? Hey babe, I see that you're improving in that area, right? You're communicating better, right? You're expressing yourself better, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not lashing out as much, right? Cool, mm-hmm. Right? Hey babe, I changed because I want us to work. And from the sincerest place, I love you, girl.
Look at you being a poet and shit.
Right? So now, right? But babe, look, I just need you to change your ways, right? I don't like the way that you talk to me. I don't like the way that you make me feel handled at times, right? And then now we going through me changing my transformational stage, but you remaining the same, right? And then you saying, I am changing. If you the only person that noticed that you changed, you ain't changed.
Facts.
Yeah, that's not change. That just means that you're doing something different. But you being sneaky. That's what it is. So, like, come on, man. I don't know, man. I'm choosing me. And I advise you to choose you. And just because you choose you, it don't mean that you don't love me. It don't mean that I don't love you. It don't mean that, because here's reality. Just because two people love each other don't mean it's meant for them to be together.
That part.
Just because you're a good friend don't mean you're a good spouse.
That part.
Right? A selfish person is not invested in caring about another person's feelings. Right? So how are we supposed to be together, connected as one, if you care about you and I care about you and you the only one benefiting? You know what? Why don't I just roll?
Well, this proves my point about needing to have compatibility in order for a relationship to be successful. So you always fight me on that. You don't have to be compatible. You just choose to be with.
I'm compatible with everybody.
Now, are you compatible with anybody because you conform to be with anybody, or because you are you and you continue to be you and everybody's good with you? Like,
I'm compatible with everybody because of both.
Mm-hmm.
So look, my mom. So look, I and one day, right, I was holding a conversation with a young lady that's older than me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she had this question like, oh, so what would your mom think about us dating, considering my age, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's her consciousness, right? Thinking about my age, right? But our regular conversation and, whatever, anything that it is or whatever, is like, it's so regular, right? It's so regular that there's not an age factor that's coming up. The only time it's an age factor is if it's like, yo, what up? Like, yo, we gonna talk, we gonna go out, we gonna date. Then that's like, yo, what is people gonna think, right? What did they think when it was time for you to pay your fucking rent? Fuck, they thought it was your problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Who gives a fuck, right? So I said, you know what? I'm gonna do you one better because I don't want to answer for nobody. And I knew the answer before I put her on the phone. I called on three-way, right? Excuse me, my lady. That's how I talk to my moms, right? What's up, my lady? Right? She say, what's up, baby daddy? Right? So I'm like, listen, I've been cheating on you. And I have a young lady that wants to ask you a question. So they get into conversing. They was talking they had such a good conversation. I just muted the phone, jumped in the shower, you know what I'm saying? Put them on speaker. And I heard my mom say when the question was asked about the age, my mom said, who cares? That's long story short, that's what she said. She said two of the coolest things about my son is that you guaranteed to laugh and have fun with him. And regardless of his age, you could put him anywhere in any crowd and know that he's gonna be all right. He's not gonna embarrass you. So my age don't play a factor in who I am in character. Like, nah, I'm good. I'm good in every single situation. You put me in a room full of politicians, they might learn some shit from me because we don't have politicians that's running for political office that know what it feel like to be on welfare, to have welfare cheese, to eat in the hallway because the Con Edison man then turned the lights off, right?
Yes,
They
we
don't have
do.
that. Who?
Assemblyman Eddie Gibbs.
Man, please. So, but we don't have these kind of politicians, right? And generally, even our politicians tell us about this vaccination, like they physicians, right? What in the hell? What? You ain't no physician. You about to tell me some shit? The worst thing that we go through is people will learn something today and try to teach it to us tomorrow, like they've been studying and knew this shit their whole life. And we go for it. We buying these wolf tickets. Like, come on. So, you know, at the end of the day, like you can put me anywhere on God's green earth and I'm gonna be all right. I didn't start joking when I came home from prison. I was in prison telling jokes. I had COs telling me, yo, I remember my mom came to see me. I was in the box. My mom came to see me to see this young CO. He was about 24. I was older than him by like 6 years. This dude tried to tell a joke on me. Wrong thing. I joked on him for an hour straight. So now I didn't know my mom was coming to visit me. I couldn't get on the phone. I'm in the box. Hour goes by, they called me for a visit. My mom said when she got to the front desk, she said my last name. The one officer said, who the hell is Irving? The other officer said, you know, the guy that's always fucking laughing like shit is a joke. He walks around like prison is supposed to be smiled at all fucking day. Right? I'm in prison smiling. Not that I'm happy to be here. But I'm happy to be here. Not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I could have been 6 feet under. I'm in prison alive, able to still have a testimony, learn from my mistakes, teach from my mistakes and different things of that nature. Why not wake up and go to sleep with a smile? Somebody don't have this opportunity. Even though if I died, I wouldn't have to pay no rent. I wouldn't be worried about who the fuck is trying to kill me. You feel me?
Okay.
I won't be worried about these chicken heads that's trying to break my heart. Feel me? It's so tender.
Staxx, we gonna do a time check?
What do you mean time?
It's 7:00.
Oh, we got like 5 minutes. We go.
Okay.
My co-host would have been like, he just said something, knowledge, knowledge be on. He be on it.
No, I just like to respect people's times.
Oh, but generally a lot, when you begin the conversation about, the different things that you've experienced and how you envision them at that particular time and realm of life, the one thing that I had to learn is that because everything in life is a learned behavior, you'll hear older people say, the devil is a liar, right? And you're hearing so much because it gives them an excuse, right? To continue to be the way that they choose to be, right? Then that becomes a situation where they say it and speak about it so much that they give so much reverence to the devil for their particular actions, like they don't have choice, that they forget to give the real reverence to God, right? If you always talking about the devil, how the hell could you be talking about God?
That is the truth.
How the hell could God really deposit him into you when you still dealing with these demons? Light and darkness don't live together. So, you know, the like I said, your fear was attached to the devil trying to steal your joy, right? Your lack of faith was attached to the devil, you know, depositing that, because here's two things that I always pay attention to in scripture. The scripture that says where the serpent was speaking to Eve, and he said to Eve, he said, I know God surely didn't tell you if you eat this fruit that he would kill you, right? Right? Automatically telling her it's safe because you're not gonna die. Right? But then in Job, when God was talking to the devil, right? The devil came in amongst the angels, right? Only God knew who the devil was.
Right.
So that means what? That means that you could be attacked, tempted, and all these different things when it comes to the devil and not even know where this attack is coming from. Because
So what do you do? What do you do?
only God knows what the devil look like.
What do you suggest people do?
I suggest them get into them scriptures. I suggest they get it. They get their relationship right, man. You gotta get a really. It don't matter what God you say you have a relationship with, right? Get a relationship with God, one God, and it's going. You know, the seed is being planted, so you're gonna continue to want to get to know the Almighty, right? People think that it's not more than one God. Allah, Buddha, Judah, you know what I'm saying? All these different, it's a reason why so many different religions, they all have different gods. But there's only one true and living God. That's something different.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Buddha is a statue.
Mm-hmm. Buddha is not of any religion.
I mean,
Buddha doesn't practice any religion.
I'm just saying, like, you know, people do these things and voodoo and all these different things, and they don't even know, you know, how it affects them later on or whatever, right? But the reality is that you know, until you get your relationship right with it's what could the creation say to the creator? I hear people a lot of times say that they mad at God for this and mad about God for that. And wait, so you mean to tell me that you didn't make that choice?
Right.
We're not talking about a 2-year-old kid that is innocent and the devil tempted this 2-year-old kid and the kid ran into the street, right? We talking about a grown adult that has knowledge, that can see. You're not blind by anything, but you are your own worst enemy.
Right.
And since you need somebody to blame, you either gonna blame me, Tanika, knowledge born, or you're gonna blame God.
Facts.
Well, if God can do all things, why didn't he stop me from getting shot in my ass? Why was you selling them drugs? It wasn't God. It wasn't God. God didn't whisper in your ear and say, sell some drugs. You know what I'm saying? Now you sit there shot in the ass and you blame God because you got a funny walk.
Well, you should be thanking God because you lived through it, right? Instead of blaming God for it happening, thank God because you lived through it.
But that's our time. You give them your slogan, I'm gonna give them mine.
Until next time, remember, I love you because I live to love you too.
Yeah, my slogan is, man, have a good night. They thought they had one. Now
Nice.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the fact that, you know, oftentimes it's not an age thing, right? We bridge the gap. You know, you older than me, and it's not, you don't act like you can't be taught, or I don't act like I can't be taught by you, right?
Right.
So, you know, and it's a scripture that says, as iron sharpens iron, let a man sharpen the countenance of his friend, right? This becomes iron sharpens iron. This becomes the bridge in the gap, because if we don't hold these dialogues, you know, people won't get the chance to see how you felt. And I'm pretty sure there's another woman somewhere on this planet that felt the same way that you felt. Whether they watch it today or next year, they're gonna be able to say, damn, I can identify with that.
Right.
I'm glad that she was able to say certain things that, you know, I can identify with. I respect a woman that knows that she don't want to have a kid, and then she's angry that she's pregnant or whatever, and more angry because of the miscarriage. Because you didn't say that you was angry, you know what I'm saying, about anything else. You was more angry about the miscarriage because now you didn't felt the heartbeat, or you got to let go of those certain feelings, even if you didn't want the kid and different things of that nature, right? But that's different than a woman that pushes out a kid and treats the kid like shit. Or a man that know that he slept with a woman and now he don't want to take care of the kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is so different.
Yeah, absolutely.
But man, God
Thank
bless
you.
you, man. Keep your crown fixed. You feel me?
Always straight.
We'll do this again.
Okay.
All right.